The Old Testament, New Testament, and Qur'an are the foundational scriptures of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, respectively. Each of these texts serves as a cornerstone for the beliefs, practices, and traditions of their faith communities. Despite their distinct origins and unique teachings, these scriptures share significant common ground. By examining their core similarities, we gain a deeper understanding of the values and narratives that unite these major world religions. This comparison not only highlights shared themes, such as monotheism and moral guidance, but also fosters greater appreciation for the interconnectedness of their histories and beliefs. At the heart of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam lies a profound belief in a single, all-powerful God. This concept of monotheism forms the foundation of each tradition's scripture and shapes their understanding of the universe. In Judaism, God is seen as the creator and sustainer of all things, a central figure in the Torah. Christianity also upholds the belief in one God, emphasizing his role through the teachings of Jesus and the New Testament. Similarly, Islam's Qur'an describes Allah as the one true God, merciful and omnipotent. Despite differences in practice and interpretation, this shared devotion to a singular divine presence unites the three faiths at their core. Throughout history, the Old Testament, New Testament, and Qur'an have recognized a remarkable array of prophets and messengers. Many of these figures are shared across all three traditions, underscoring their deep connections. Notable examples include Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and David, each revered for their faith and leadership. Jesus is a central figure in both Christianity and Islam, though his role is understood differently. The Qur'an also acknowledges many prophets from the Hebrew Bible, emphasizing a continuity of divine guidance. These shared figures illustrate the intertwined heritage of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, highlighting common values and stories that have shaped billions of lives. Continuous divine revelation is the belief that God's guidance to humanity unfolds progressively over time. Rather than viewing each scripture as a standalone message, this perspective sees them as interconnected chapters in a larger, ongoing narrative. Each revelation builds upon the previous ones, offering new insights and adapting to the needs of different eras and societies. This concept suggests that spiritual guidance is not static, but evolves as humanity grows and changes. It encourages followers to recognize the unity and purpose behind various scriptures, seeing them as part of a single divine story. In this way, continuous revelation emphasizes both the timelessness and adaptability of spiritual teachings. When examining the moral and ethical teachings within these texts, several core themes emerge. Justice is often portrayed as a fundamental principle, emphasizing fairness, accountability, and the protection of the vulnerable. Compassion is highlighted through calls to care for the poor, the sick, and those in need, encouraging empathy and kindness in daily interactions. Righteous living is depicted as a holistic approach, guiding individuals to act with integrity, honesty, and respect for others. These teachings collectively shape a framework for ethical behavior, aiming to foster harmonious and equitable communities. Despite differences in context and expression, the underlying values of justice, compassion, and righteousness remain central to each tradition. Worship, prayer, and obedience to God are central themes found throughout the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Qur'an. In the Old Testament, worship is expressed through rituals, sacrifices, and heartfelt devotion, while obedience to God's laws is seen as a sign of faithfulness. The New Testament continues this emphasis, highlighting prayer as a means of building a personal relationship with God and teaching that true obedience comes from love and trust in Him. Similarly, the Qur'an underscores the importance of regular prayer and submission to God's will as fundamental aspects of faith. Across these scriptures, worship and obedience are not merely rituals, but expressions of a deep, ongoing commitment to the divine. These practices serve to strengthen the bond between believers and God, guiding their actions and shaping their spiritual lives. Across the three major scriptures, there is a shared belief in life after death, where the soul continues its existence beyond the physical world. Each tradition describes a form of divine judgment in which individuals are held accountable for their actions during their earthly lives. The concepts of heaven and hell serve as destinations determined by this judgment, representing reward and punishment respectively. While the specifics of these realms and the criteria for judgment may differ, the underlying themes emphasize moral responsibility and the hope for ultimate justice. These beliefs have shaped ethical teachings and personal conduct for countless followers throughout history. Each scripture serves as a foundational source of sacred law, offering guidance that shapes both individual behavior and the broader structure of society. These texts set forth moral principles, ethical standards, and legal frameworks that believers are encouraged to follow. On a personal level, scriptures often address issues such as honesty, compassion, and responsibility, guiding daily actions and decisions. At the societal level, they may outline systems of justice, community obligations, and the roles of leaders and citizens. Through these teachings, scriptures help to create a sense of order and shared values within communities. Over time, interpretations of these laws and guidelines have influenced legal systems, cultural norms, and social institutions across the world. Across the three foundational texts, several major stories and narratives are shared, reflecting deep cultural and spiritual connections. The story of creation, for example, outlines how the world and humanity came into being, emphasizing themes of order and purpose. The account of the Great Flood appears in each tradition, describing a catastrophic deluge and the survival of a chosen individual and his family, symbolizing renewal and divine judgment. The lives of key prophets, such as Abraham, Moses, and Noah, are also central, with each text offering unique perspectives on their journeys, challenges, and relationships with the divine. These shared narratives not only highlight common values, but also illustrate how each tradition interprets and builds upon these foundational stories. Across many religious traditions, faith and righteous action are often viewed as inseparable elements on the path to salvation or divine reward. In Christianity, faith in God and acceptance of grace are central, but believers are also called to demonstrate their faith through good deeds and moral living. Islam similarly stresses the importance of both belief in Allah and the performance of righteous acts, such as prayer, charity, and compassion toward others. In Judaism, adherence to God's commandments and ethical behavior are seen as vital expressions of faith. These traditions, while differing in doctrine and practice, commonly teach that genuine faith naturally leads to actions that reflect one's commitment to spiritual principles. Thus, both inner conviction and outward conduct are regarded as essential for attaining spiritual fulfillment or favor in the eyes of the divine. Throughout history, sacred scriptures have been held in the highest regard by countless communities. These foundational texts are not only revered for their spiritual teachings, but also for the guidance they offer in daily life. The act of preserving scripture often becomes a communal responsibility, with generations working together to ensure the accuracy and integrity of the words. Community gatherings, rituals, and shared readings help keep these teachings alive, fostering a sense of unity and purpose. By living according to these texts, individuals find meaning and direction, while the community as a whole strengthens its collective identity and values. The Old Testament, New Testament, and Qur'an are foundational texts for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, respectively. Despite their differences, they share several core similarities. Each text emphasizes the belief in one God, the importance of moral conduct, and the value of compassion and justice. They all recount stories of prophets who guide their communities and deliver divine messages. Themes such as faith, obedience, and the consequences of human actions are central across all three scriptures. Additionally, these texts highlight the significance of prayer, charity, and the pursuit of righteousness. Together, they form the basis for ethical teachings and spiritual practices in their respective religions. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow and keeps you updated with our latest content. Thanks for your support. Please tune in for our coming videos on knowledge-based contents.